signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else!
Going stupid in the whip cause I cannot see.
The latest Helluva Boss short was certainly an outlandish ride of experiences. The short starts out with our aforementioned target, which again is an obvious reference to Kyle Larson, which again is pretty obvious when you compare the two images together, you know, and not to mention the racist description, which again, everyone in NASCAR remembers the infamous 2020 moment where he dropped the hard R during a live streamed practice.
You can't hear me?
But anyways, him being killed off, it's not really the main point of the episode. The main point is the moment where Blitzo gets cut off by a guy in a red Ferrari. Look out! Which then of course ensues a car chase, because in reality Blitzo's mad that he got cut off by a dude in a nice sports car. But again, it's pretty hard to villainize a dude who just cut you off when you, Blitzo, quite literally carelessly shot an innocent police officer who was doing his job and keeping traffic safe. Like, yeah, Blitzo, no shit the dude was able to cut you off. You literally took out the thing that would have stopped him from doing that. And even then it's like, oh boo-hoo, the cop killer got cut off. Like, am I supposed to feel bad? Like, cry me a river. Anyways, we then basically get to the pinnacle situation of this episode in a whole.
What do you think he's in such a hurry for?
I don't know, probably to go blow his fucking son! What?
Keep this comment in mind because this will be important for later, but anyways, after Moxxie gives valid reasons as to why this guy could be driving the way he is.
What if it's a genuine emergency? What if he just found out a family member is in the hospital? Or what if he's late for a wedding and he's the best man?
Blitzo then gives the dumbest response I've ever heard in mankind.
Oh, look! Like, that's the same fucking spot I almost hit him. See, it's not my driving, it's the fucking thing he does.
Ah yes, Blitzo, how dare the person that you hit not be diligent enough to avoid your reckless driving. This is like punching someone in the face and then being mad that the person you punched now has a black eye. Like, oh, how dare they not be responsible enough to dodge your unprovoked attack. All this statement from Blitzo shows you is that at the end of the day, it's not about whether you've done something bad or not, it's about whether you've personally spited him or not. That's what is his whole motive, because he's had no issue letting other adults off for their acts of cheating and acts of betrayal, but instead willingly chose to kill 2 individuals who are good moral people for things they did as underage minors. Why? Because it's not about what you've done or who you are as a person. What it's about is whether you've pissed him off or not. The moment you're not profitable towards him or you've pissed him off, that's when he basically decides to spare you or kill you in cold blood. And no, I'm not accepting that he's in hell defense. First of all, this defense is stupid because 1, Blitzo is a hellborn imp, meaning he was not already sent to hell for previous bad deeds on Earth. He was born in the hell world from the beginning and chose to be a depraved, money-hungry humanoid on Earth murderer. Instead of realizing that he needed to practice and hone in on his talent like the other sensible people would do, he instead decided to willingly continue to partake in the act of thievery, crime, and theft. And obviously, yes, the father did have some influence on him, but he still chose to carry that behavior towards his adulthood instead of after serving prison in a juvenile jail and turning his life around as a productive adult after his release. He instead chose to do the very thing that got him trouble again, by aka breaking into another royal's house, seducing them while they were drunk for the book, and deliberately messing with their marriage, which again, as shitty of a wife as Stella was, Stolas is still responsible for having sex with another person while they were married, and Blitzo is still responsible for doing sex with a married royal, while knowing the person was married. The only reason he played along was to avoid being arrested for breaking and entering on private property. It's as simple as that. Now, that's not to say Stolas is by any means a perfect boyfriend or partner, as he's repeatedly called him demeaning names when asked to stop.
Especially that sexy little one there. Yoo-hoo, Blitzy.
Oh, fuck me.
My darling Blitzy!
Just say my name right, fucking dick.
I got you right where I want you. Go ahead, say cheese.
As well as me sexually harassing you whilst on the job in front of my own daughter's vicinity.
You are so cute when you are serious. You know, it's quite thrilling to see you on the job, Blitzy.
Save it, bitch, I'm working.
You both need to get a room.
My, what good aim you have, Blitzy.
And refused to help Blitzo when his life is in danger and he's asked for help. Literally in Murder Family, you were literally on the phone with Blitzo getting held at shotgun point by a literal lady from the upper world. You were on the phone and Blitzo didn't disconnect the phone, so you literally heard the entire conversation throughout. And instead of stopping to make sure he was okay or even trying to get help, you instead decided to talk about how much you were gonna do him in bed. Okay, so alright, here's the clip.
Huh? Come to drag me and my kin to hell. Well,
The best part is if you listen super closely, you can actually hear Stolas still talking while Blitzo is getting held at shotgun point. Look.
huh? Come to drag me and my kin to hell.
Throughout that entire scene where Blitzo is getting threatened with his life by this lady, and Stolas decides, instead of, hey, let me go help my lover or partner, Stolas instead decides, oh yeah, you know what? Let me just talk about myself while this is all going on. Yeah, Stolas, just like how you couldn't be bothered to help Blitzo when he was getting held at shotgun point against a murderous family, despite you being on the phone openly hearing it, right? Boo-hoo, Stolas, it really doesn't feel too good when the shoe is on the other foot, huh? They're both terrible people in their own way, and funnily enough, their relationship is like pineapple on pizza. Most people who have common sense know it's awful, but people will still find a way to jump over hurdles to defend it. And without those people, this relationship combination would have never lasted as long as it did. Anyways, after Moxxie rebuttals Blitzo's terrible logic and arguments, Blitzo then pulls out the "why are you defending XYZ person doing XYZ act?"
Oh yeah, keep defending this.
This argument is stupid, and again, we could use this argument to Blitzo too. Blitzo, why are you defending Stolas and his treatment from other people? He's a bad person. As well as me sexually harassing you whilst on the job in front of my own daughter's vicinity.
You are so cute when you are serious. You know, it's quite thrilling to see you on the job, Blitzy.
Save it, bitch, I'm working.
You both need to get a room.
My, what good aim you have, Blitzy.
The people who are making the "why are you defending XYZ bad person from bad treatment" don't even practice their own preached logic themselves. But anyways, that set aside, we then have a scene where Blitzo is then dressed up as a supposed white man, which I'm assuming in this skit they're supposed to be mocking like white people or white men. And I mean, I don't really think having a cop killer mock a certain race is really a good idea here. That's kind of like the terrorist calling the other person a criminal. Anyways, Moxxie then tries this funny thing called common sense logic.
I never did. In fact, I agree with you. But what? I just think you're overreacting.
Which Blitzo then ignores and then tries to go into more instances of being a psychopathic, idiotic driver, because after accomplishing the goal of basically getting back at the guy by cutting him off, which again, I mean, that was a very obvious lie. He's really not the reason why he's upset. It's just because this guy's pissed him off, so now he wants to get back and injure this guy. That's literally it. It's not about him cutting him off. He just doesn't like him. That's it. Blitzo then proceeds to give some ridiculous driving logic.
Watch! Look, you see that? He's tailgating me now. He could have just as easily went right the fuck around. The whole road is open. What?
First of all, one, you went off-road to cut him off. It would be pretty stupid considering neither of you have off-road vehicles. It would be pretty stupid to drive a Ferrari on a literal road where there's harmful terrain that could damage the car. It's very obvious you're lying about the motive, since if your intent was just to get back at him by cutting him off, well, done, you've already achieved that. But not surprisingly, this beef isn't over because you're a deranged lunatic with anger issues who flips at the dime depending on who should be killed and who should be spared, depending on whether they piss you off or not. Not to say that wasn't the most obvious thing that anyone with half a brain cell could tell. You know, you may be the driver in this car, but you're the real brick wall here. Anyways, Blitzo, for some reason being the supposed responsible driver, then proceeds to, after cutting off another driver after going off-road, slams on the brakes because, as we all know, just trying to destroy a supercar is totally one of the most smartest ideas in mankind history. Gee, I wonder why Marty McFly didn't want to crash into the Lambo, right? Totally a smart thing to do, I know, right? And not to mention, Blitzo literally would have just damaged his own car, as if the dude crashed into the backside of your car, it would damage both you and his car, therefore making both of your cars undrivable, and not to mention likely killing both you and Moxxie if he was going fast enough during the crash. But anyways, because it's a cartoon, they then decide to take inspiration from Looney Tunes by having this guy swerve out, because of course, it's the person that you're harming with your reckless driving's fault for not taking into account that you're a reckless driver, and not your own. So, stupid crash aside, excusing Blitzo's stupidity here.
See, Mox, look, I didn't kill him. Too much of a prick to die.
Ah yes, Blitzo, because it's definitely the dude's fault for not denying a murder you set up, right? How dare the victim of an attempted murder be only attempted, right? Anyways, remember that comment I told you to save earlier?
I don't know, probably to go blow his fucking son.
Well, guess what? Haha, no shock. This heartwarming scene was instead wasted for a cheap joke about the father being an incestuous predator who waited for his son to turn 18 to have oral.
Get where?
My son, today is his 18th birthday.
All right, you see, sir?
I need to be the first one there to blow him!
Oh yes, guys, don't you guys just love it when the writers waste heartwarming scenes and expensive developmental writing and expensive drawing and expensive artist teams and expensive timely work on cheap incest predator jokes? Don't you just love that? Who wants actually sophisticated writing and appropriate dialogue, proper scenes, and well-written cartoon scenes and themes, when we can instead have a joke that goes, haha, this dad is an incest predator? Isn't that so funny, guys? That's literally the whole point of this joke. Blitzo doesn't even, for some reason, condemn this act or tell Moxxie he was in the right. He just diverts the conversation to the dude's driving issues.
Now, what you need to do is learn how to drive right, dick.
As though that's somehow the problem and not the fact that he's partaking in incest and being a predator to his own children. You know, something that would tick anyone who has a rightful moral compass off. Like, writers, I don't think having Blitzo be portrayed as a incest predator apologist is a very good way to compliment such a shitty joke. You know, it makes people not want to support your main character since he's okay with letting this stuff slide so long as he gets a theoretical own on his opponent. And not to mention, speaking of these types of jokes, again, this is a repeated pattern of Vivziepop putting in these sorts of gross out humor. The first time was in Unhappy Campers, where the joke was that the citizens on Earth thought Millie and Moxxie were related.
Internet sensation and local celebrity Millard Real Boy caught incesting tonight, showcasing a sickening display onlookers deem too disturbing to look away, and we won't.
The second one involved Andreophus literally calling his sister insanely attractive in Hell's Court.
Speaking on behalf of my aggressively attractive sister.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
What the fuck, writers, are y'all doing? Like, this is disgusting and creepy as fuck. They are relatives. And the third one being this short, which again, this isn't even a sole writer issue. Different writers have put in these jokes thinking that this is somehow productive to the story or funny or somehow not just gonna gross out the audience, when in reality it's just bare bones gross out humor that wouldn't even make the viewer with the most dirtiest mind chuckle. And I'm not accepting the whole, oh well, Vivziepop didn't write the story. It doesn't matter. Vivziepop is still the director and producer of this show, meaning the jokes wouldn't have made it in had they not had her and other team members' upper approval and green lighting. These jokes would have never made it had they been disapproved by her and the other upper members, meaning it was essentially approved by her ultimatum verdict, meaning she saw all of these disgusting jokes, went, you know what, that's okay to put in, and then gave a resounding thumbs up to the writing team and artists. Ultimately, like, even from a business perspective, these jokes are damaging towards the cartoon's success because all it does is motivate the audience to click off the video more, which is the opposite of what you should be doing if you're a cartoon YouTuber, where audience retention is the #1 thing to consistently worry about. So essentially, you're tanking your own audience from not not just a business perspective, but also from a viewership perspective too. Like, I can't believe I have to tell a grown-ass woman that these jokes are super counterproductive towards the growth of her show and characters, but, well, it's literally that. Literally, that's what it is. Anyways, Moxxie thankfully does what any common sense person does and finishes off the job because, you know, not letting incest predators roam around on the human earth is in fact a good thing. And then we get a cheap joke about the guy not signaling.
You know, he never signaled, not once, the whole time.
Instead of Moxxie for some reason lambasting Blitzo for his incest predator apologist behavior for whatever reason, because that's apparently funny. As we all know, fathers being predatory to their sons is totally funny and is something that should be joked about and not a thing that intentionally scars those that are affected for life. You know, haha, very funny. The scene then further closes off with a joke about a sexual hand signal.
How about a hand signal? No, not that hand signal, sir. This one. Oh, sir.
Because of course, what would be the Helluva boss routine if we didn't include a mandatory unnecessary sex joke that isn't funny and just motivates the audience to click off the short. Very smart and business intelligent behavior, as you can tell. Anyways, the writers then try to save face by having Blitzo say this at the end.
You know, it's never the drivers like him that get T-boned. I mean, we're from hell, and this guy sucks.
Writers, you do understand that having Blitzo say this doesn't acknowledge the fact that he was an incest predator apologist that literally almost let this guy off, basically, because he got his revenge back at him for the thing that he personally did that affected him and not the other messed up actions he was gonna do. Like, writers, you can put this clip in, but the fact is, Blitzo still committed incest predator apologia. Like, him saying this doesn't change his apologist actions. Anyways, that set aside, let's get into my final thoughts.
Game over!
Ultimately, this short was a waste of time. All it proved was what I've been saying, consistently correct. Blitzo doesn't care about your transgressions or who you are. What personally matters to him is, did you piss him off or not, and can he personally get back at you? Because his issue was that the guy basically cut him off, and not the fact that he was an incest predator who was trying to prey on his own son. Now, obviously, this doesn't really surprise me, as Blitzo has been willing to kill innocent people like Emberlyn and Frank for corny things they did as literal underage minors. So I guess when you're willing to kill an adult for things that they do as an underage minor, I guess that really does showcase how little you care about predatory behavior, since you don't care about letting people change from their actions done as kids. I just was hoping that they wouldn't stoop to that low, but I guess I shouldn't be that shocked. Additionally, it's very weird to see this consistent pattern of Vivziepop putting in these creepy, gross out incest humor, where the joke is a consistent pattern of either being siblings wanting to fuck each other or parents wanting to do sexual intercourse with their own children. I didn't think the third time could somehow make it worse, but the fact that this is now a predatory joke where the father deliberately waited for his son to turn 18 so he could have oral with his son, aka his literal child, is just flat out disgusting. These don't even do anything productive or useful. All it does is show Blitzo as an apologist as he gets back at the dude for cutting him off and not for the fact that he wasn't an incest and attempted predator, with Moxxie then joking about him being a bad driver after killing him, as if like that was supposed to be funny. Like, it wasn't funny the first time or the second time, so again, the third time isn't at all funny either. And again, they somehow managed to cross the line even further than they did the first two times. And this isn't even a sole writer thing, because different writers have thought putting in these jokes were funny, and Vivziepop, the director and producer, approved these jokes to be in there. That's how it even got in there in the first place. It wouldn't have gotten in had it not been approved by the higher up. So like, what do I even say? Like, I didn't think I would have to tell a full-grown adult not to put that sort of humor in, as it's flat out creepy, gross, unproductive to improving your characters or their arcs, as it just makes me and other viewers not like them, since they're just showing us apologists and not able to hold people accountable for their apologia actions. So like, I can't believe I have to say this, but yeah, stop putting in these sorts of jokes. They're unproductive, gross, and humor that isn't funny and only encourages your audience to click off the short and stop watching, aka only helping to tank your viewership numbers. So stop doing jokes like this. But ultimately, that's gonna conclude this short review. I guess I'll see you when the next one comes out soon. So peace.